Hey folks, Steve here again. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. I know I am. I just want to get on here and say a quick Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy anything else that you might celebrate. I wanted to say a few words of my thoughts about Philippine Airlines. I've had 4 flights on their airline now, and they actually responded to one of my recent videos. It looked official anyway. Um, I flew from, well, my girlfriend Dolly and I flew from SFO, which is San Francisco, to Manila, and then from Manila to Davao City. And then about 2 weeks later, we flew from Davao City to Manila, and then Manila to San Francisco. My thoughts on the San Francisco experience, as far as Philippine Airlines, is very good. We actually got there and were in line before the gates, not the gates, before the place, the counter where you turn your bags in, to your check baggage, that is. And they all get in front of their terminals where they help you and say something quick, and then they say mabuhay, which is kind of like aloha. At least that's what my girlfriend told me. So I thought that was kind of different. Never seen. Well, I usually get there when I'm flying on like United or Southwest, which are the other 2 airlines that I more frequent. Flying in the U.S. contiguous 48 states, uh, I get there and it's already open and that kind of thing. So but they only have like 1 flight per day, I think, from San Francisco to Manila, and it's like 10 between 10 and 11 at night, or 11 and 12, depending on the time of year. And so it's not like they got to have their gate open year, well, year round, yeah, but all 24 hours of a day, like United or Southwest or something like that, where they're having flights taken off every hour or 2 or whatever. So that was a little different. Um, Another thing that people from the Philippines will recognize is almost everybody, including my girlfriend, had at least 1 or 2 boxes, not luggage, but cardboard boxes full of stuff to take on the airplane. Why? If you're not familiar with that, well, because they're going to take as much as they physically could take weight wise. And rather than having a 5 or 10 pound large luggage, they're going to have a light box, a cardboard box. So if they get 50 pounds, they're going to have maybe a 2 or 3 pound box if they can, and put as much in there up to the 50-pound limit of stuff, instead of 40 pounds of stuff and a 10-pound piece of luggage. So now you might think, well, how are you going to get that to the counter from your car or truck or whatever you drive to the airport? Well, they have carts, and it's $8 to rent a cart in front of the airport. Now, when you come home, they have carts waiting for you to take your luggage away from there, from the carousel, the luggage carousel, after you get your luggage when you come back home. And we actually rented a car from San Francisco to drive to Sacramento, and we were able to take the luggage cart all the way to the rental car counter and to our rental car in San Francisco. So, yes, you can get a free. They have carts there. You don't have to rent them. At least we didn't have to when we got our luggage back. When we came back home to San Francisco, we just grab a cart that's already there, put your luggage on it, get on the, what's it called, the Sky Train or something like that, that takes you to the rental car counter, and get your rental car key or paperwork or whatever, and then go take it all the way to your rental car and leave the luggage cart there. That's the way it works in San Francisco, anyway. Um, so the flight over on the big 777 ER, I think it's called, airplane. All right, geese. Got some geese flying over here. Uh, when we booked our seats initially, we're never going to get those seats again. At least I don't want to. We paid, so we paid for the ticket, and then we paid, you have to pay for your seats, most of them. We ended up paying $120 per seat and bought bulkhead seats. I think it was row 61 initially, and then we changed it. We called in a few weeks later and changed it to 31. I'm wishing I would have changed it to something other than bulkhead because, yeah, I'm a large person and bulkhead seats are not friendly to large people. Why? Well, with a bulkhead seat, there's no seat in front of you that has a monitor or a tray that folds out. So the monitor is underneath the armrest on your left side, and it folds up like this. And then you turn it towards you, and it's, I don't know, 8 inches or whatever. But the tray is actually inside the armrest on your left side, and you flip up a little cover, it comes out, and then you fold it down in front of you. If you don't have a big belly like me, I have a big belly right now, so it's getting smaller as we speak because I'm losing weight, but I was not able to use my tray because it wasn't made for people my size. So luckily my girlfriend could use hers, and she let me use my food that I was given during the flight on her tray. She shared her tray with me, in other words. And the person behind me must have had a big belly too, because I was reclined when we would get meals, trying to get some rest, and they had to have me put my seat all the way forward, the way you're supposed to be when you take off and land, so that they could use their tray. But theirs folds out from my seat. So, but anyway, so on the way back home, we did change our seats and got a row that was not a bulkhead seat, so that the tray could fold down in front of me and I could actually use it because there was enough room there, and have my food on my own tray. And the monitor was built into the seat in front of us. I think it's 10 inches maybe. So I could see that the whole time. And there's a little remote control, wired remote control, that's connected to each. Even in the bulkhead seats, it has a little wired remote control that kind of, you hit a little button and it comes out of the armrest, and it controls the entertainment system, TV, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so I mean, that part worked fine. But when we go to the Philippines again, I'm thinking I'm going to either get a similar seat. So where the seats we did get were in the first economy section in the middle. There's like 3 seats on the left of the side of the airplane, 3 seats on the right side, and then 4 in the middle. We got 2 on the left side of those middle 4. So that way, if I have to go to the bathroom, I can just go. If she has to go, she can squeeze right by me, or I'll get out and give her room to get out. Or the 2 people on the right of us didn't, I don't know if they were together or not, but they could get out on the right side and go to the bathroom or drink water or whatever. Yeah, so that's a lot easier, in my opinion. Now, if you don't have a connecting flight, or you don't worry about getting to your next flight quickly, there are way in the back of the plane on the left and right side these rows where it's just 2 seats on the left and 2 on the right. And then I don't know if it's 3 or 4 in the middle, but something like that. But then you can have 2 people together, and they're, yeah, just the 2 of you. And there's seats in front of you, so you can use the tray and monitor of the seat in front of you. So yeah, that was kind of uh, something I'm considering doing next time. So as far as the hospitality and friendliness um, of the flight attendants, I'll call them. We don't call them stewardesses anymore, or stewards, I guess, flight attendants. So eh, I wasn't perfect. They would serve snacks sometime during the flight in the dark, and they didn't really announce. I wish they would have announced. I mean, yeah, if people are sleeping, you don't want to wake them up, blah blah blah. But it'd be nice if they would announce, okay, we're going to start serving now, and bring the lights up at least a little bit so you can see what you're eating, and see what they're serving, and see the person who's serving you, and blah blah blah. But um, they have their ways of doing it for whatever reason. But if I was to give them some constructive criticism, I would say before you bring anything out to the people, any kind of meal, snack, whatever, announce, okay, we're going to start serving a snack now. So people would be ready for a cart to come up the aisle and knock the crap out of their elbow or their, uh, what do you call it? Your heel. Yeah, that was not fun. And there's, I don't know, it's no nice way to say it, but when they knock the crap out of your elbow or your heel, and they just say, "Ooh, sorry," that's not enough. And some of them, I'm not going to name any names because I don't know the names. I didn't keep track, but when they just come up there, just kind of not lickety split, but not slow either, with the cart, and they're knocking elbows and knees and whatever. Um, yeah, it'd be nice if they would go slow and say, "Watch out, I'm coming through," something like that. But they're going backwards, and they just kind of hit you and say, "Ooh, sorry," and keep going, and that's it. Yeah, no, I'm no, like, I don't know, I don't know what. Yeah, it just wasn't that bad of an experience, but it was. Uh, the food. Okay, let me move on. The food itself was good. Um, it was hot. I would say the meals that needed to be hot were hot. The fruit was all good, in my opinion. The bread was all good. The meals of protein, sausage, what have you, was all good. It all had good flavor. I don't have any complaints whatsoever about the food itself. Um, Getting on and off the plane, I don't know what was going on with that. It seemed like when we got off the big plane and on the big plane coming back home, both times, I don't know what it is about the ramp. I think that's what it's called. The thing that you get off the plane and step down on. It was like 6 to 8 inches below the plane. Now maybe when they pulled it up to the plane, it was even. But when you get, I don't know, a dozen or more people on that thing, because they're moving slow, because wheelchairs happen and people walking slow happen, just fact of life, not complaining. But the thing gets all that weight on there and then it tends to go down and nobody pays attention to it, and it goes down like 6 or 8 inches and you have to really step down. And for somebody who's walking with a walker or something like that, or somebody that works at the airline or the airport with somebody on a wheelchair and has to go down that far with a wheelchair or up that far when they're getting on the airplane, that just makes no sense to me. So I would say whoever is supposed to be paying attention to the level of the ramp or gate or whatever you call it, the you get on and off of when you get on and off the airplane. Pay attention to that and make it stay level. I don't know if they just don't have automatic levelers or what, but yeah, I'm kind of dwelling on something, but it's worth dwelling on when you got to really step down, like you're stepping down a step instead of off an airplane to what something, a ramp that's supposed to be at least 1 or 2 inches from, or if not completely level with where you're stepping, but oh well. The airports themselves, the Manila airport I like better as far as the facility itself. Getting from one terminal to another is a little bit of a hassle because you have to take an actual small shuttle bus through traffic and then get off at the same place the cars are getting off and go through security again and all that. We ended up going through security I don't know how many times, um, but we made it. We had plenty of like over 3 hours on the way there, and I think almost 6 hours on the way back of layover. So we had no problems. The e-travel thing was lickety split. We had the e-travel printed. I had the e-travel printed out for both of us ahead of time. So going over there, it was no problem. I think we didn't actually do the e-travel or have to give them the e-travel thing until we got to Davao City, and they scanned our handbags, even the carry-on and backpacks, and asked if we had anything to declare and that kind of stuff. And the immigration part was, I'd say it was fine on the way over. On the way back, it was extremely slow in San Francisco. We had to get in this really, really, really long line that went back and forth, maybe a dozen or more times, and then get up to the front, and there was only like maybe, it was changing off and on, maybe 3 or 4 immigration officers. I think that's what they're called. And he just asked me if I had anything to declare, and I said no. And we went through, and no big problem. Um, so yeah, I'd say overall the experience was good. I'm definitely going to choose different seats. The short flights from Manila to Davao and Davao to Manila were fine. That's a smaller plane, not a small plane, but a smaller plane. And we were in like 42, 44 row, something like that. And you can actually see. Well, you saw in the previous video, I had some video between Manila and Davao where we were flying over the islands and nice, pretty clouds and everything. That was really nice. So, as far as the airplanes themselves, I'm really kind of, I don't know what the word is, um, surprised at the big 777 ER, what is it, 777-300 ER, something like that, plane that goes from San Francisco to Manila and Manila to San Francisco and many, many other places, only has 2 engines. What happens if one of those fails for some reason and you're like in the middle of the Pacific? You only have one left. Seems to me you should have 4, and if you lose one, you have 3 left. But we didn't have any problems, thank God. Either way, it just kept going the whole way, like it's designed to and supposed to. So the pilots did a great job. As usual, you can't really hear what the pilots are saying a lot of times because they're on the loudspeaker, but they're talking really quiet. So, yeah, no idea what they said some of the time, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. We got there and we got home, and that's the main thing. Let's see, this is getting kind of long, almost 20 minutes already. Gee whiz. Didn't expect this to be 10 minutes, but oh well. Let's see, what else do I have to say? I don't know about going through Singapore on Singapore Airlines. If somebody has done that before and you're still watching, let me know what you think of that, because usually they have like a 12-hour layover in Singapore, and I'm assuming that's so that you have to stay there long enough that you have to get something to eat, or maybe sometime, you know, some sleep there or something like that, so you spend some money. That's my guess. It would be nice to see Singapore, but 12 hours, I don't know if that's really enough to go somewhere with all your luggage. And I mean, I don't know if there's some place where you can safely put your luggage in a locker or something like that in Singapore, and then take a taxi somewhere and go somewhere and see something and get some food and all that, and then come back and go through security again and get on the plane and blah blah blah. But yeah, if somebody's went through security, or excuse me, somebody's went through Singapore, let's say from San Francisco to Singapore and then to Davao City, let me know what your experience was and if you would recommend it, because I'm kind of interested in that. But I'm fine going through Manila again too next time we go there in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whenever we go there again. So, all right, I'm going to close this out because this is way too long. Thank you for watching if you're still there. And like I always say, endeavor to be a positive ingredient in someone's life, maybe even your own. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye.